Y'all thought y'all was gonna get reparations before these migrants get funding for housing? Yeah, good luck, nigga. But peace and blessings to everybody out there. Welcome back to the Fake Woke Podcast. This is your boy, BobbyVILN. I am back with another video. Now, I was supposed to do like a video on Kamala Harris' campaign and on Trump's campaign, where the money's coming from and all this other good stuff, giving my opinions on that. I have yet to do that, as y'all can see, because I haven't posted it. But, you know, it'll come. Sooner or later it's coming. But the topic of discussion right now, in California, where I reside, there has been two very important topics that has made, I say, national coverage. One is the housing bill in California, housing assistance for migrants, Bill 1840. You could go look that up. I will be posting the links to the articles that I read in my YouTube description. They're already posted on my Twitter account, Deku the Hero, DEKU _DA _ HERO, Deku the Hero. You can go look me up on Twitter if you want to look at the breakdown or the key points of those articles. They're on my Twitter account. Okay, I'm not hiding nothing. I'm showing all evidence of what I've read so far, okay? But when it comes straight down to it, California is considering offering migrants $150,000 towards housing in California. Their excuse is that they don't want to exclude the migrants. They want them to be a part of society. But at the same time, on the other end, they shot down two bills that would give direct payments for reparations to so-called descendants of slavery. Now, I'm already on record talking about the reparations task force. I already said that we're not getting any reparations. As a community, we're going, how can I say it? I would say that we're going after the wrong entity when it comes to reparations. I think there needs to be a focal point when it comes to who needs to pay reparations. And I've already stated this. I said the left or the Democrats need to be held accountable for their involvement in slavery. That they need to pay reparations. If the Republicans were smart enough, they would take hold of those talking points and use those to corral the black vote that they need so much. But of course, you got some rhinos that aren't necessarily smart, so it makes me believe that they don't want to win an election and that all of this shit is fugazi regardless, okay? Excuse my language, but I'm just speaking the truth. But when it comes straight down to this, you can clearly see that the migrants are way more important than U.S. citizens, particularly or specifically Black Americans. Because for you to sit there and for you to allocate funds for migrants to receive housing, and you got homeless people out here with nowhere to go, and you're uprooting them, destroying their encampments, and just telling them to go figure it out, that clearly shows to me where the agenda is heading, what y'all value more when it comes to U.S. citizens and when it comes to migrants. You're trying to replace the black vote, like I've said before, with the migrant vote. That's why you have so many blue states pushing and championing migrants voting. They want migrants to vote. In Chicago, I think they passed a bill to where migrants can vote. I think in Minnesota they passed a bill where migrants can vote. And that's where the problem comes in, because like you can see where they're putting these migrants in quote unquote urban areas. I've said this before as well. I think I said this during my video on them giving migrants $500 a month just to be here. And that's just the bare minimum of funds that they're actually getting. They're getting a whole lot of help over here when you got Americans drowning in debt, barely able to afford a standard living, but you out here, you allocating all of these funds to these migrants to make their to make it to where they can adapt to the American so-called dream easier. But you got your citizens over here struggling, barely making ends meet. That clearly shows what's about to go down. They replacing the black vote with migrants, bro. And I've been saying this shit for the longest. I've got several videos, and I will post them where I'm sitting there telling people like, yo, they about to replace your vote. They about to replace your ass. We out here arguing about hair weave, who won the beef between Drake and fucking Kendrick, top 5 rappers, so forth and so on, BBLs and all this other bullshit. We worrying about insignificant topics, but we're worried about insignificant topics, but they passing these fucked up ass bills up under our noses that completely disrespect black Americans and just Americans in general. Like, look at what's going on. Again, Chicago. Look what's going on in Chicago. They putting those migrants in black neighborhoods. They're displacing the black the black populace on the south side and I think the west side. People are sitting there complaining about how they ain't got housing over there and so forth and so on, but you got these migrants over there, immigrants, whatever you want to call them, over there receiving all types of help. And I remember it was a video that went viral, sorry, where this woman was asking the mayor of Chicago, she was like, yo, we need help. I need help. And he just laughed at her. But they out there helping the migrants. It's the same thing in California, especially the same thing in Colorado. A migrant gang just took over like 2 apartment complexes. And I'm gonna talk about that later. You clearly see what's going on. And people have been saying this shit since 2020. When they started flooding the fucking border. When Trump was sitting there talking about a wall, then all of a sudden Democrats was like, no, you're a xenophobe. If you erect a wall, you're a racist, this, that, and the third. And now we got a migrant crisis. And I'm not saying to vote for Trump. I don't give a damn who you vote for because it's not going to make a difference. But at the same time, y'all sat there and y'all called that man a racist for him wanting to put up a wall. And now we got a real migrant problem. Now we got people out here complaining about these people receiving the help that a lot of Americans should receive. And now you really got black people sitting there disgruntled because we can't get reparation bills passed because they're sitting there talking about, oh, we don't know if Gavin Newsom's gonna veto this bill. But that migrant housing fund bill was able to make it pass and get to Gavin Newsom's desk, and now they just waiting for him to sign off on it, if he's going to sign off on it. And then you got the black populace sitting there in California sitting there talking about, oh yeah, we're going to make it hard for Kamala Harris to get in office if you don't pass these reparations bill. Look, we've been sitting there telling y'all for the longest, you need something for your vote. Just stop whoring out your vote and not getting anything in return. And you had these bourgeoisie niggas sitting there telling you, well, they don't have to do anything just specifically for black people, but they could give Jewish people reparations, they could give AAPI, a hate crime bill. They could do all of this other BS. But when black people ask for something, oh yeah, no, they don't have to specifically do anything for black people. Didn't Kamala Harris say that? Now, I'm not asking for government assistance. I've already sat there and said that they're not going to give it to us because they'd rather have us in a situation to where we'll never have that independency. We'll always have to depend on the government. They want to keep us in that frame of mind of that we need the government for X, Y, and Z. Because once you allocate funds, not allocate funds, but once you give out those reparations to black folk, they ain't gonna need you no more. It's best to keep that population, that community poor, because you can always manipulate that community by giving them nothing in return for their vote. And that's what they're trying to do. Not trying, but that's what they're doing. Because as soon as niggas get a little bit of money, watch, we're gonna start voting and moving differently. But once you keep them dependent on the government, they can't do anything. They can't go anywhere else because they think the other side is racist, and they think that the Democrats are the only party that they can vote for. But in the last 60 to 70 years, nothing has transpired from it. They got us hook, line, and sinker. They got us right by the balls, as they would say. And black people, for some reason, when it comes to politics, when it comes to politics, we feel like we have to vote blue. We do not. Not like it's gonna make any difference if you vote for the other side, because the other side is full of shit too. But what I'm saying is we have to start weaponizing our vote, because they're trying to replace your vote right now. They want those migrants in here. They want these migrants to be able to vote, so they won't have to worry about your ass. So they won't have to sit there and pander to black women to try to corral the black community into voting Democrat again. Because that's their highest, when it comes to the black community, the black woman is the highest, the black woman is the most likely to vote Democrat within our community. It's like a 90 percentile or some shit. And that's why they pander to black women, and that's why they villainize the black men, because the black men as of right now aren't sold on Kamala Harris. They don't want to vote blue no matter who, because they see where this shit is going. But of course, they're manipulating the opposing side of our community to get us to do what they want us to do, and that's vote blue no matter who. But I've already stated that this migrant crisis was going to be the biggest problem for us, because this is our direct, I would say, political enemy, because they're trying to replace you with them. I know a lot of y'all probably heard of the Great Replacement Theory, and they calling it a white supremacist conspiracy theory, that white people fear that they're going to be replaced, or whatever the case may be. That Great Replacement Theory does not apply to the white folk. That Great Replacement Theory applies to us. They're replacing us, because if that replacement theory applied to white folks, they'll be moving those migrants into these white communities. But they're not. They're moving them into urban communities, black communities. That's where they're stationing these migrants. That's where they're putting these migrants, in black communities. And y'all thought y'all was gonna get some reparations before these migrants get funded? Yeah, no. Your reparations is going to the migrants. People been trying to tell y'all, stop voting for these people and giving them your vote and not getting anything in return. Y'all look like and sound like a bunch of coons. tap dancing for these people and not getting shit in return. You see how that DNC you see how the DNC conference turned out? Just a bunch of knick-knack shit. You saw how Kamala Harris a campaign rally in Atlanta was, a predominantly black city. They just threw fucking Meg Thee Stallion up there to shake her ass. And apparently a lot of people left right after Meg Thee Stallion performed. They completely disregard the black community when it comes to intellectualism, and they just think we're just a bunch of shuck and jive niggas. Like all we care about is fucking entertainment. In some cases, that's the goddamn truth. But that's what they think. They don't I guess that's it. That's all I got to say. But besides that, make sure you like, subscribe, share my content. If you share it, I don't give a shit. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you got past the 2-minute mark, deuces.